This is Pave It Black.
Welcome to Pave It Black, the official podcast of the National Asphalt Paving Association. I'm Brett Williams.
And I'm Richard Willis.
And today our session is focused on National Work Zone Awareness Week. And National Work Zone Awareness Week is celebrating 20 years this year. And it's really focused on creating awareness for the traveling public about the need to really be safe, take extra measures, be aware when you're driving in work zones, to really protect the safety of the crews out there working on our roads, as well as the traveling public. And for our conversation, our first guest for today's episode is Tim Lee. Tim, would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and your history or experience in the industry?
Sure. I grew up in a paving family. All through high school and college, I either worked in our gravel pits or on our paving crews. When I graduated from college, I started running work as a superintendent, and by the time I was 25, I had opened a new division of ours in Idaho. I rose to become CEO of our business in 1993 or 4, I think. Our company has 850 employees, and we work on the west side of Washington and Oregon, from the Cascade Mountains to the coast. I'm a pilot. I fly to all our locations and try to have a lot of hands-on contact.
Well, Tim, we really appreciate you being here as a part of this conversation with National Work Zone Awareness Week. And we understand that you were among several of the NAPA members who really encouraged this organization to push our work zone safety message to the public. Can you describe for a few minutes the genesis of this idea and where it really came from?
One of the things that we do as a management team is to try to connect to each of our employees at least once a year. So both my brother and I would schedule breakfasts for groups of 20 or so. And then we'd have not only a meal, but we'd have a question and answer session where employees could get our take on any subject, whether it be politics or whether it be the state of the company or why did you buy this screed, or every question was welcomed. That's been a program that we've been doing now for, I want to guess, 7 or 8 years. And we find it to be not only informative for our employees, but also informative for us so that we can get some kind of a feel about how our crews are doing and how our salaried employees are doing and what's on their mind and what are their concerns and wants and needs. We were at one of these particular meals, and there was a man sitting in the corner who didn't really say much during the whole question and answer period. And just about when we were done, he raised his hands and he said, you know, Lakeside spends an inordinate amount of effort on safety. Safety is, like you described earlier, Richard, core value of any responsible contractor, maybe the first core value. But we control the actions and movements of our employees through these efforts. We don't control anything other than that. So this guy in the corner raised his hand and said, you know, you guys spend a lot of time and effort on safety, but what are you doing to keep us safe from the traveling public? What kind of efforts are you making to make our work zone safer because the traveling public acts differently? And I had to answer him and tell him, we're not doing anything. And that kind of stuck me in the craw, especially in light of our paving foreman's terrible accident. So I'm sitting in a board meeting at NAPA, and I told that story. And I said, what are we doing as an organization to make our workers safe by educating our traveling public and the people we're working for? That was my contribution for maybe lighting a fire under our organization.
You mentioned that many asphalt companies have safety as one of their core values, and most of the companies often have it as their first or primary value. I was wondering if you had any ideas how we can encourage the general public to increase the value that they place on safety.
in light of what's going on today, there will be those who pay attention and those that don't, and those that try to be part of the solution and those that don't care. I think information campaigns to the public are important. I think mutual respect, that the people working on the road are making your life better, even if there's a short inconvenience. And they deserve your respect when you drive through their work zone at 60 miles an hour and you're 3 feet from them. I think that whole idea of people respecting other people is a great theme for bringing home the message of why is it important, let alone the obvious that those people have children and spouses and families and they need to get home safely to those people. Sometimes I think in this country we've lost our ability to respect one another, whether you're talking about politics or you're talking about anything else. And I think whether it's texting while you're driving, whether it's going to the beach while you're supposed to be at home during this virus outbreak, I think it's just a lack of respect for the community.
So Napa, because of this effort and because it came to the realization as an organization that it needed to be out in front of people, they started the Watch for Us campaign. And it's been going for a few years now. And in a few minutes, we'll be talking with Esther Magorka about the tactile efforts and how people can get involved in that campaign today. But as you've seen that campaign evolve over the last couple of years, we know that work zone safety is not something or a message that's going to need to go away anytime soon. Where would you like to see the effort continue to go in the future as Napa continues to try to put this Watch for Us message out there?
We have to come up with innovative ways to deliver that message. I was at the gas station the other day and I'm pumping gas into my car, and there's a video message. I don't know if they're selling Cokes or Baby Ruth candy bars or whatever it is down the street. I think that would be a great vehicle to deliver safety messages to drivers while they're pumping gas in the car. And that's something that we could partner with FHWA or with state DOTs or cities and counties. I don't know how you do it, but certainly that looks like a viable vehicle for delivering messages. Advertising on television is a vehicle. I'm not sure how we afford that. Maybe you can get public service announcements from local channels, but that is a great vehicle for sending out messages. And how you do it over social media is something that I don't know much about, but that's the new frontier in communication. So how do you make it sexy enough so people will watch it and become involved in it? And how do you make it more of a movement than just individual messages? I'm not sure. I don't know that I have all the answers, but there's some pretty smart people in our industry and in other industries.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Tim. Really appreciate you sharing your perspective on safety and the Watch for Us campaign and giving us some new ideas and ways to continue to evolve this program as we move forward and keep safety at the forefront for both our member companies and the traveling public. And really appreciate everything that you did and your time today.
Thanks, you guys. You take care. Be safe.
Now we welcome to the podcast Esther Magorka. Esther is currently the Vice President of Marketing for the National Asphalt Pavement Association. Esther, could you tell us a minute or two what you do with Napa and what your role is?
Hi, thanks, Richard. So I manage the day-to-day activities of the Asphalt Industries Marketing Communications Plan. Really, my job is to develop materials and content that promote the Asphalt Industries brand. And we at Napa really want to do this through recognizing that asphalt pavements provide value, quality, and performance to road owners and their agencies. To accomplish this, we work to positively promote the advantages of asphalt pavement, and doing this through promoting two of the industry's core values: integrity in our actions and deeds, and ensuring the safety of our workers and the traveling public. We work to ensure that all of our marketing materials are scientifically researched and that the results are transparently conveyed. Key to our work is conducting market research into the thoughts of the driving public. We want to support road building agencies by providing data-driven analysis into the desires of the traveling public. To this end, we've completed market research, both qualitative and quantitative, into the perceptions of drivers. One thing that all stakeholders, NAPA members, agencies, and the driving public can all agree on is that safety is paramount. We want to ensure the safety of the driving public and our workers.
Thanks, Esther. So we had just heard from Tim Lee, and he talked a little bit about the genesis of the Watch For Us campaign. Could you tell us a little bit about what's been done over the first couple of years of that campaign and how effective it's been?
Yeah, so just for a little bit of background for everybody, every year more than 600 people are killed in roadway work zones. Construction companies have really dedicated to ensuring that the safety of their workers is at the forefront along with the driving public. However, accidents do still occur. And so we decided to create this campaign called Watch For Us. When we started the campaign, we started with a featured film that was titled A Moment Can Save a Life, and it depicts a fictionalized story on the impacts of distracted driving on a family. And we also have real life testimonials from construction industry leaders talking about a distracted driving incident that has occurred in their work zones. Really, we have Watch For Us campaign materials that are designed to be used year round, but we promote them, of course, very strongly during National Work Zone Awareness Week. We have a campaign of materials that is available at www.watch4.us/toolkit that ensures that all these materials are available. It's updated annually, and it has a suite of content, including website suggestions, blog posts, social media outreach, ideas for stories. We also have 3 award-winning videos that have been honored with PRSA awards, as well as construction industry awards. Our 2018 A Moment Can Save a Life video and its trailers have been viewed over 100,000 times. And we've also have a Construction Media Alliance award for the video called Work Zone Safety is Your Responsibility Too, which has been viewed over 7,000 times in just 1 year. The suite of testimonials that we have has been viewed by many people as well, and that's more about the industry leaders. The campaign is now entering its 3rd year, and it's been remarkably successful. In addition to the 3 awards that I've mentioned that it's won, we started in 2018 with 13 association partners, and we saw over 104,000 impressions on social media. And in fact, the Watch For Us hashtag was used more frequently than the National Work Zone Awareness Week official hashtag. AASHTO was one of our leading influencers that year. They did a great job getting the Watch For Us message out to the DOTs and other partner agencies. In 2019, we increased the number of partners that were using our materials by 4. And we saw that hashtag increased by 3.5 times. So we had 367,000 views. Then this year, we've continued to grow and adding more partners to the mix. We've added 2 more partners so that we're all lockstep in promoting work zone safety awareness.
So Esther, kind of thinking this year and into the future, if someone were wanting to get involved with the activities or involved in this campaign, what would they do and how could they get involved?
We at NAPA would really love for everyone in the industry to follow the examples of our industry partners. You can be an influencer on social media. All you have to do is visit the watch4.us/toolkit page for examples of how you can get involved. Download these materials and just start using them. The toolkit is a step-by-step guide that provides information for you and ideas on how you can use it. Use your creativity and get out there and promote work zone safety awareness. There is a lot of testimonial films out there, but the more we can tell people how this impacts everyday Americans, the better it will be. So please get out there, share your stories of how you've been impacted, whether it was a close call in the work zone or something more tragic. It's really important that we lend our voice to this really important initiative. Personal stories make a huge difference.
Well, thank you very much, Esther, for being a part of this podcast today. And we appreciate Tim also taking the time to be with us. While this is our National Work Zone Awareness Week, it's something that we should be thinking about all year long. And we ask the driving public to remember that as a road construction industry, when you're out there driving on the roads, please, please watch for us, and we'll take care of you on our end too.
Pave It Black is produced by Monica Dutcher of the National Asphalt Pavement Association, with podcast theme music credits to Coleak. You can find Pave It Black on most of your favorite platforms, including SoundCloud and iTunes, or at www.asphaltpavement.org/podcast. If you would like to suggest someone for us to interview, please email Richard Willis at rwillis@asphaltpavement.org. That's RWILLIS@asphaltpavement.org. Until next time, keep paving it black.